Good morning. So we're here today with Dr. Corrinne Graham, and I thank her for being here today. So Dr. Corrinne Graham left the corporate world in 2014 to fill gaps and pain points suffered by small businesses. And shortly after completing her PhD, she leapt from the corporate ship onto the entrepreneurship by starting a consulting business from nothing but an idea that she had for solutions to some of the challenges faced by small businesses. So, with only a few pennies in her pocket, she decided to play a role in helping others chart their economic success. Dr. Graham is the perfect person to have a great discussion with. Dr. Graham, thank you again for joining us today, and so happy to have you here with us. Thank you.
Oh, Rick, thank you for really inviting me and wishing you continued success in all that you do. I know your work and the things that you bring to the community. So I'm happy that you invited me to be one of your guests here today. Thank you so much.
Great, thanks. So let's just jump into it. So, Dr. Graham, what is your overall assessment of the business community right now, the business climate right now?
That's for me, it's a big question. And it's a big question only because I've been fortunate, as you have been, and many others, to play in different industries, right? And also different worlds. And one of my taglines, I guess, is what we have is, transforming visions into the possibilities, right? I always see that the possibilities are endless, and people might say, oh, you're just always so positive or so on, but within adversity there are possibilities and they are endless. And I think part of it is charting that course takes time. So I think there are opportunities with tech that's going. You see tech in the healthcare field, you see it in education, you see it in businesses, you see, you're talking about metaverse and so on, solutions that we're looking for. What's the next thing and how you're preparing for it. So I think we kind of have to filter out a lot of the noises that's going on so that we can drill into what is really happening. And kind of that's how I, kind of run my business. It's kind of how I was when I was in corporate world as well. So I think there's a little bit of different things. I think one of the thing is I guess, identify elements. One of the words that I like to use is key elements of success, right? What's going to get you to the next couple of months, the next year? What are you looking for? What do you envision? And kind of recalibrate that and try to work with what is going on now.
So with that said, so as people are trying to recalibrate, kind of figure out, and I like the ship analogy on the entrepreneurship. There's one captain who has to make all the decisions and has all the worries, right? Of where to take the ship next, right? How to create the vision, the path, etc. So what are your clients and prospects worried about? What are they worried that is either A, keeping them awake at night, or B, could be the next iceberg that hits their entrepreneurship?
Going to more of the smaller clients, because I have a variety of, clients that I'm working with. I think one of the things that keep them up at night is the same thing. It hasn't changed, but more so now. And I think they've navigated that. And that is just bringing on new clients, right? Where are the opportunities for them? Where do they go next? If I was in, finance and, or I was in, logistic, their supply chain. We saw what happened with the pandemic, and, hiring also becomes a big thing for them, right? It's getting the right employee, onboarding them. You have some positions or some roles, you can speed through, right? That recruiting process to be able to get that. And I think it's really just rebuilding brand so that they can build their revenue stream, honestly.
So it sounds like it's the same problems that businesses had, prior, I call it BC, before COVID, before March 2020. But now it's different, right? So we're doing things remotely, we're doing things on Zoom. So are clients, would you say that the clients that you talk to, or when they come to you before you work with them, let's just say, are they more optimistic that things will go back to normal or the old ways? Or are they saying, I think those days are gone. How do I move my business forward in this new world?
So I think it's a little bit of both. I think, uh, I don't want to go back to stuff, but in a way, my college experience when I was talking about this, like when I was in high school, this world was a real world, right? There were different nuances. When I was in corporate, this world was very real world. So we just got pushed forward because we were kind of lagging a little. And I think really it's just individuals finding tools and actually seeing that there is a marriage, a balance between some of the old traditional aspect. People want to have that in-person relationship, the social interactions. Those are invaluable. You can't take them away. But the virtual setting allows you a lot. It allows you, the time. We're doing this here. I don't have to drive 3 hours or 2 hours to come to your office or to be in a studio to be able to do that. There are certain economic cost savings that are there. So I think you try to navigate and move past it. I think there is comfort in some of the old things, but I think as we prepare them or help them to understand how the new things work, I think they're better able to navigate. So I think we don't get rid of all the old ways of doing things. Some of those things stay. I think the new ways also come with a lot of issue is part of your expertise in terms of compliance, right? We have this thing we're talking about ethics and social responsibility or corporate social responsibility. So those become monumental things going forward in this new world, right?
Mhm. So what I think I hear you're saying, and let me just kind of tease this concept out a little bit, is you're talking about that there are so many efficiencies that can be embraced, right? You don't have to drive. You could do back-to-back Zoom meetings and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let me ask this philosophical question. Do you find people that are saying, boy, what used to take me 8 hours to do and I can make a living or achieve my goals, I can now do in 4 hours. So I'm going to work 4 hours a day, right? Meaning I could stay where I am and do less, right? Or do you find that people are saying, boy, if I can do twice as much, I can earn twice as much. So the reason I ask that question that way is wrapped in the great resignation, people are reevaluating what it is that they want out of life, right? And their work-life balance, et cetera. So what are you seeing? Are you seeing people saying, hey, I'm glad I can stay at the same level and do less? Or, boy, now that I could do more, I can grow again, or I can get to another level?
I think I see more that they want to do multiple things. And that's part of also what I talked about in a report that I participated with the UN Youth, is that it now opens the opportunity for them to do more, have the flexibility that they want to make their schedules. You do have those who also want to have more in terms of, the time they're doing and as they manage that, but also it gives them back part of their life, right? The family life balance or the health and wellness sort of balance that's become really, really important for it always has been, but it's now, something that we know that we must take care of.
Wow, that's great, and I appreciate what you're saying there. Is that people may not do more in the job that they have; they may do more in other things that have always interest
Yeah.
they've always been interested in. Great. So, kind of the final question: what are you preparing for in your business and with your clients, looking out over the next 12 to 18 months? What are kind of the things that you see on the horizon?
So I think a lot of it is for me when I'm looking at it's recruiting. I'm actually focused on a lot of project management things, a couple of community initiatives that I'm a part of. So really, I think I see recruiting as one of the projects I'm currently working with is trying to recruit some folks in the healthcare sector, and that becomes very challenging with what's happened with the pandemic we found ourselves in. And the other, I think, is just individuals or organizations just trying to kind of really reevaluate their business, where they can go, what are some next steps, and just also adopting more in terms of technology, making sure that they have the right resources for their employees. Also, you know, paying more attention to that health and wellness and that corporate social responsibility. It honestly is becoming such a key issue, regardless, not just because we see it in the news or the bigger company. It is impacting, you know, smaller, mid-sized SMEs kind of entities. So I just prepare by just really, you know, trying to be at as much as I can in the forefront of learning what's coming so that I can help pass that information on, or just help in terms of, you know, transforming what it is that the clients are looking for.
Great. Great. Well, I think we should do this again because there's so many avenues that you left for us to go down into rabbit holes. And just for the sake of time, we're going to have to break those out into separate segments. So I look forward to doing that in the near future. So just for purposes of time, I have on our screen here ways that folks can get in touch with you, and let me read them out. And if I've missed something, you'll let me know. So we have your phone number as 631-481 9124. Your email, Corrinne, that's Corrinne, at Graham, Graham, International Consulting, res.com. Corrinne at Graham International Consulting.com, consultingres.com. And the website is grahamconsultingandresearch.com. grahamconsultingandresearch.com. So, Dr. Corrinne Graham, again, I want to thank you. You're always on the cutting edge. You're doing amazing things with amazing clients, and really appreciate everything you do, and want to thank you again for being here with us today.
Thank you for the time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Great.
It was awesome.